Today is August 13, 2023. The time is 6:23 p.m. and I want to record my thoughts. I'm going to make a point about something. BARDA, Project Next Generation Medical Countermeasures, enhancing our preparedness for COVID-19 strains and variants. BARDA, in collaboration with the National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Diseases, is supporting the development of next generation medical countermeasures, including vaccines and therapeutics, to protect Americans from public health security threats such as coronaviruses. While it while existing vaccines against COVID 19 are still very effective at preventing serious illness and death, they are less capable of reducing infection and transmission over time. Similarly, previously authorized monoclonal antibody therapeutics, critical to treating individuals and protecting some of our most vulnerable populations, are not effective against currently circulating strains in the U.S. New variants, waning immunity, and resistance to therapeutics will continue to challenge our healthcare system in the coming years, leading to a critical need to develop novel vaccines and therapeutics. Through Project NextGen, the U.S. government will leverage public private partnerships to develop a new vaccine and therapeutics to better address current SARS-CoV-2 viral strains and prepare for the future ones. I want to make a point about public private partnerships. Who are the public private partnerships working to combat COVID 19? CEPI. CEPI was founded in Davos by the governments of Norway and India, the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, Wellcome, and the World Economic Forum. Our CEPI, our portfolio, built on the principles of speed, scale, and equitable access. CEPI is supporting the research and development of a diverse portfolio of vaccine candidates based on a range of vaccine approaches. Now, here I want to highlight that CEPI, our portfolio, is built on the principles of speed, scale, and equitable access. CEPI is supporting the research and development of a diverse portfolio of vaccine candidates based on a range of vaccine approaches. CEPI has made investment in 21 vaccine candidates against its priority pathogens: Lassa, MERS, Rift Valley fever, Nepal. I'm not going to go through all of them, but 14 COVID 19 vaccines. And it says the organization has also invested in the development of rapid response platforms to develop vaccines against disease X, the threat of an unknown virus. How do you make a vaccine against an unknown virus? CEPI moved quickly and urgently to accelerate vaccine development in response to the COVID 19 crises. We announced our first vaccine partnership on the 23rd January 2020, when there were just 581 confirmed cases of COVID 19 globally, and swiftly built a large and diverse portfolio of COVID 19 vaccine candidates to maximize our chances of success. Four of these: Oxford AstraZeneca, Moderna, Novavax, SK Bioscience, have been granted emergency use listing by the World Health Organization, WHO, and are now preventing disease and death around the world. A further three have been approved for domestic use. Investigational ChAdOx1 new coronavirus 19. Vaccine protects monkeys against COVID 19 pneumonia. Study provided data for clinical testing to commence May 15, 2020. A single dose of ChAdOx1 in COVID 19, an investigational vaccine against SARS-CoV 2, has protected six Rus macaque from pneumonia caused by the virus, according to the National Institute of Health Scientists and University of Oxford collaborators. SARS-CoV 2 is the virus that causes COVID 19. The researchers posted their data to the preprint server. The findings are not yet peer reviewed but are being shared to assist the public health response to COVID 19. Based on these data, a phase 1 trial of the candidate vaccine began on April 23rd in healthy volunteers in the United Kingdom. The vaccine was developed at the University of Oxford Jenner Institute. It uses a replicon deficient chimpanzee adenovirus to deliver a SARS CoV 2 protein to induce a protective immune response. I won't go all the way into this article, but the Trump administration, Operation Warp Speed, accelerated AstraZeneca COVID 19 vaccine to be available beginning in October. Under the public-private partnership, BARDA can provide up to 1.2 billion to support and parallel advanced clinical study, vaccine manufacturing technology, transfer process development, scale-up manufacturing, and other development activities. This is the AstraZeneca vaccine. They're going at warp speed. This is Operation Warp Speed. They're moving at the speed of light to get these vaccines to the marketplace. And here you see right here that the AstraZeneca 1222 vaccine consists of the replicon deficient simian adenovirus vector, ChAd, containing the structural surface glycoprotein of the spike protein antigen of the SARS-CoV 2. I'm just go right down here. It says, and I ought to go up here and just read this. I'm going to make a better video until I get this story straight. Thrombosis and thrombocytopenia after ChAd COVID vaccine, the monkey vaccine. We report findings in 5 patients who presented with venous thrombosis and thrombocytopenia 7 to 10 days after receiving the first dose of this vaccine. But I want to just get right to the very bottom, which I've got highlighted. It just says, although rare, Although rare, VITT is a new phenomenon with devastating effects for otherwise healthy young adults and requires a thorough risk benefit analysis. The findings of our study indicate that VITT may be more frequent than has been found in previous studies in which the safety of the ChAd vaccine has been investigated. Rare side effects from the AstraZeneca and Johnson & Johnson vaccines may have been seen in 15-year-old animal studies. Norwegian biologist Gro Adam writes this in an email to Science Norway from the USA, where she is professor at Arizona State University. Studies on animals showed this in experiments on monkeys, rabbits, and mice. The problem became an obstacle for research and development of gene therapy. Edmund writes, the AstraZeneca vaccine against COVID uses a so-called adenoviral vector to deliver the vaccine in our bodies. Several cases of unusual and serious cases of clotting combined with low levels of platelets and bleeding after the vaccine, 4 with a fatal outcome, caused Norway to pause the use of the AstraZeneca vaccine on March 11th. Norwegian researchers recently explained what happened to these patients in a paper published in the New England Journal of Medicine. They have given the syndrome the name VITT, vaccine-induced immune thrombocytopenia. But it turns out this condition hasn't been entirely unknown, at least not for those who spent years doing research on adenoviruses as vectors in animals some 15 to 20 years ago. The syndrome of low platelets and clotting was well known within the discipline that used adenoviral vectors at that time. When the condition now is presenting as a mystery, she wonders if this knowledge has been forgotten. Built CEPI, our portfolio, built on the principle of speed, scale, and equitable access. Was this overlooked for speed? I'm going to leave it there. I'm going to keep researching this, but I'm going to leave this there for right now.